Before we roll into today's video, I want to invite you folks who can make it to join me this next weekend at Berryland Campers in Louisiana for their 11th annual open house and big sales event. Yep, it's this coming Friday, March 8th, Saturday the 9th, Sunday the 10th at Berryland Campers in Ponchatoula, Louisiana. Now, Berryland is a Wingman approved dealer, and I absolutely love them. I really do. They'll have more than 300 RVs that you can check out with absolutely no sales pressure. I promise. I think there'll be more than 40 factory reps there on hand that you can visit with as well. You can also grab a bite. They've always got really good food. And you and I, of course, can have a chance to visit. If you do come out, I promise you're going to see why I like these people so very much. Again, the 11th annual Berryland Campers Open House is this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 8th, 9th, and 10th at their Ponchatoula location. By the way, you'll also see some drastically, and I mean drastically marked down prices on RVs. And I guarantee you'll go, oh, that's this next weekend. A link for more info is right up here, and we've got one down in the description below. I hope you'll check it out, and I'll see you there. All right, so here's a scenario, a situation I want you to think about. Let's say that you find a used car for sale. It's from a private individual. You like it. It may not be perfect, but I mean, heck, it's a used car. But you check it out best you can, and you do your deal, and you buy it. And now it belongs to you. Well, what happens in 30 days if the engine blows or the transmission goes out? What happens if it goes out in a week? What happens if it goes out when you're driving it home? Well, you know what happens. It's your car. It's your problem. Are you pissed off? Duh. But what are you going to do about it? You're going to go back to the seller and demand that they fix it? That's probably not only not going to work, it ain't a very good idea. It's your car, yours, along with the problems that go with it. But what about used RVs? Used RVs you buy from a dealer in as-is condition. Well, for some reason, some people believe that when you buy a used RV from a dealer, it comes with some kind of a warranty. I mean, it is an RV dealer, right? And RV dealers sell RVs with warranties. They do. And those are called new RVs. Lately, there's been quite the dust-up about dealers selling used RVs and some of those new owners experiencing issues shortly after buying. Well, that's what we're going to talk about right now with a man who knows a lot about the subject, Mr. Ron Burdge. These people that have bought a used RV from a dealer, and they have to sign a document that says this is an as-is, sold in as-is condition. And it's almost like the salesperson just says, okay, sign this. You know, this is a typical language and just we require it. But you've given away all of your rights as a consumer, haven't you? If you buy one of these used RVs from a dealer and I mean, not all of them are going to be lemons, but if they break down, you are really screwed.
Almost all of your legal rights. And in some states, yeah, you give them all away. There is a state law that's been enacted in every state. It's slightly different in different places, but it basically says that nobody is allowed to do something, no merchant or business is allowed to do something that is unfair or deceptive to a consumer. But there's a short time limit to file a claim over that. But that's totally apart from any as-is or warranty or non-existence of a warranty and such. But the problem is that's almost always a swearing contest. I think what the buyer needs to do when they buy a used RV, what they need to do is when the dealer starts making representations about this, that, or the other, make a mental note of them or else write it down as the case may be. And then when you get to the part about you're getting ready to sign to buy, then just say, well, wait a minute, you told me that this had brand new tires. I need you to write that down here. And have the dealer write on the sales contract, got new tires. You told me that I still had 6 months of a factory warranty left. I need you to write that down on here. The idea is what's in writing, that's what's binding. What's not in writing, that's good luck. Yeah, good luck and a goodbye kiss.
But as is, doesn't as is mean as is? I mean,
it does.
And it would seem like to me you'd want to take some time and read it instead of just Okay, sign it. Where's the next
Oh
paper?
yeah,
I want to get my RV.
absolutely. You know, that practice of getting the buyer so excited that they just sign paperwork because they're anxious to get into that RV, get home, go on a trip, and whatever else. In the sales business, that's called putting the customer in the ether, getting them so excited about what's about to happen and not really understand what's about to happen.
It's an exciting time to buy an RV. That's why people buy them. You know, I mean, it
Yeah,
is. They're fun, they're exciting, and the possibilities seem to be endless. But buying an RV and owning one comes with that responsibility of maintaining it, understanding it, and knowing it. And too many people, it's like ready, fire, aim. They just
yeah,
they don't aim very well. They don't do their homework, and then they end up having to contact the Burdge Law Firm to help them out of a bind.
yeah. And most of the time, we can find some relief for them, but sometimes they come too late. You know, the RV industry has done a great job of making people understand what's really good about RVing, about going and camping, about family expenses and experiences, much more so than the expensive side of it, because they play off of the expense as though that basically you're saving on the hotel bill and all that. And all that's very true. And it's a wonderful lifestyle. But the RV companies don't really give you the whole story about the RVs they're building and selling, and the ones you buy used, then you're counting on the dealers. So you got to protect yourself about what's happening when you get into an RV sale.
I agree with you, and I agree with the industry as long as the consumer gets smart and the consumer
Yeah,
reads the paperwork and does their homework and understands what they're getting into. Because when you sign your rights away, you can't say to a judge or to, well, I didn't understand that. Well, then why did you sign it, sir or ma'am? And you know, I get
yeah.
worked up over this, but every single day, Ron, somebody contacts me and says, "This is what happened. What can I do? What can you do to help me?" I'm like, I don't, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think there's anything I can do to help you. And then
Every
people get
single day,
mad.
I get a call like that too, I'm in the same sort of spot as you. The people who don't protect themselves and try to cover their bases and things as they go through the buying process, and they get stuck with what they buy and not the rights that they needed to have. I totally agree with you that they need to read the paperwork carefully, make sure they understand and they're okay with it. But there are a lot of circumstances where the salesperson is a wonderfully efficient and good, slick salesperson, and people trust. You know, the reality is we live in a society where people trust people when they look them in the eye, more so than the paperwork, because that's the way we were raised by our mothers when we were all kids. Well, that ain't what's out there nowadays.
And that's why, you know, I keep saying the word homework and people, well, what is the homework? Well, you better figure it out, you know, because you're going to figure it out after you own that RV. There's more maintenance than you probably want there to be. I mean, every RV I've owned, you know, they break at the most inopportune time. There's more maintenance than you want. But for me, the good outweighs the bad. But for many, they think I'm just going to hitch this baby up and we're going to have fun.
Yeah, and that fun may have a different definition in reality than the fun you thought you were going to get. You know, like a crack in the chassis 8 months, 9 months down the road after you've spent a lot of money on the RV and a lot of money on trips and everything. And then you get to the point where all of a sudden you can't go nowhere. Or the RV that you buy that you only make a few short trips on, and then 9 months later, it's cracking. You ain't making no more.
Another example of the importance of not only reading and understanding all the paperwork when buying an RV, especially a used one from a dealer, but accepting the responsibility once you sign it. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but in my book, as is means as is, warts and all. All the more reason for if you're buying a used RV, heck, maybe even if you're buying a new one, having an independent third-party inspector go through it can help save you a ton of headaches. Finally, most people who buy used RVs know what they're buying. And while no one likes things to break, they realize those issues are just a part of the deal. But every now and then we hear about someone who signs a paper that says, well, they understand what as is means. And then they end up having, what is that? Amnesia. And they don't remember a thing. Think about those inspections, if you will, and always, always own your decisions. Thanks to the folks at the Burdge Law Firm. He's as good as it gets when it comes to lawyers and understanding the RV industry. And a link is down in the description below. Thanks for watching. Please drop a comment on this video and give it a like. It does help with the algorithm. I'll see you next time.